Hi, my name is Desmond. I work as a lead security consultant in Nettitude Private Limited, Singapore. My career actually started in close to 1999, 2000, and I started off as a junior IT security analyst. And what really spurs me, at first it was really just a very junior assessment job. But what really spurs me to move forward was I came about a book I written for talking about the FBI most wanted hacker, Kevin Minnick, which is the book titled The Art of Deception, which is published around in year 2001. And that really interests me in the area of cybersecurity, hacking, and defending. And of course, from there, I started to learn more, and I started to read another book called The Code Book. It's by Simon Singh. I think it's published around in 1999. So that is where the whole the whole career start to have traction, and the interest and passion of cybersecurity really keeps me going to where I am now. As a lead security consultant in my current workplace, mainly a day-to-day is I do planning and reviewing. So that involves communication with my management and my team on all the forecasting activity to ensure the team is adequately the manpower is adequate, and then of course finalizing the scope of assessment with my clients. And with my team itself, we do a review of all the assessment tools that is required. Once in a while, I will also be assisting the sales team when there is a requirement for additional technical know-how. And of course, the last one would be the reviewing of the VAPT reports before submitting to clients. So beside that, I also one of my scope is also to involve in briefing for stakeholders, the pre-scan or pre-assessment and the post-briefing, and also conduct security architecture review and conduct security compliance review for client. So that's sum up my scope or the role as a lead security consultant. Actually, in the market, there is a lot of cybersecurity related certificates, and but choosing to be CREST certified wasn't that difficult, because in Singapore, there is an increase, and more companies are engaging CREST certified companies like ourselves and personnel for cybersecurity related services. So to me, choosing to be CREST certified wasn't that tough, but the journey to be CREST certified wasn't easy. So for my last CPSA, I only passed it on the second try, but for the rest of my colleagues, they got it in just one try. Like I say, I think it really all depends on individual, and everyone will have a very different experience, and definitely choosing the journey to be CREST certified is definitely worthwhile. Cybersecurity is a very broad topic, so the area that I really enjoy the most would be the VAPT. Why so? Every time we have an engagement of vulnerability assessment and penetration testing services, the excitement of having the ability to identify vulnerabilities in the system is something that is undeniable. And looking at this, I know that by having the ability to identify these vulnerabilities, it actually helps my client to strengthen their system or their cybersecurity posture. So this is one area. The second area that I really enjoy is performing a security architecture review. So this whole process of reviewing security controls that is in place with all the different frameworks, this to ensure that my clients' security posture matches their risk profile and their security needs. although it's a very long and tiring process, but I think the end result, to know that the security posture of my clients are at a level that is matching to their risk profile, I think that end result is really fulfilling. To answer this question, I really hope I have a crystal ball so that I can really see what's going to happen in the next few years. But nevertheless, I just share what I have on my take on a few areas that I see that it will really make the whole industry evolve. So the first area is the most talked about, which is the AI model, ChatGPT and multiple AI that is being discussed. So we are beginning to see there's an increased use of AI and machine learning for both cyber attacks and cybersecurity defenses. As we know that all these attacks or the attacks has become more sophisticated and even harder to detect. And while all the AI-powered cybersecurity solutions continue to improve and become more effective, as a cybersecurity engineer or specialist, I think our role becomes that challenge us to keep abreast with what is really happening. So that is something that I foresee going to push us to another level and keeping us on our toes. So the other area will be IoT, the Internet of Things devices. As we see multiple industry or critical infrastructure, such as your power grid, your transportation, your healthcare, they are beginning to use more and more IoT devices to help in not just monitoring, even command and control. Cyber criminals are now increasingly targeting this end device. And we know because of remote monitoring as COVID-19, in this post-COVID-19 world, most of the companies are becoming more engaged, performing all these tasks remotely. So you see all these systems becoming very interconnected. And when a system becomes interconnected over the public internet, it becomes more vulnerable to attacks. So this area or this cyber threats will begin or is already starting to evolve since the post-COVID-19 era. So the other area that I want to touch on would be ransomware attacks. So as with the attackers being empowered by AI, the ransomware attacks will continue to evolve to become more sophisticated, and with such sophistication, there will be an increase in frequency. So the techniques becomes more advanced, and it make it harder for the cybersecurity defender to really perform what they need. So as the attack evolve, the cybersecurity defender should also will have to, I mentioned, will continue to learn and grow with the latest trend and learn how to identify the different TTP to stop all these attacks. For policies and framework is the next area that as a cybersecurity personnel or specialist will always be touching on, because framework is the backbone of what we do, especially for me when we talk about security architecture review, because every framework is where we actually benchmark the different security controls that is to help to protect our crown jewel or the stepping stones. So as in this post COVID-19 era, the different cybersecurity regulations and compliance requirements have become very stringent as different government and organizations seek to improve their security posture and to protect all the sensitive data. Of course, even with all this policy and framework in place in this interconnected, globalized economy, how the different framework and how the different regulations come together And I think as a cybersecurity specialist, we have to be very in tune to all these regulation change, and they could change so frequent that we will not be able to keep up. So it takes certain effort for us to keep reading and to understand the different framework that has been pushed out. And lastly, to sum up the whole thing, we know that the cybersecurity threats will continue to evolve and become more complex. And the cybersecurity industry, all of us will just need to adapt to these changes in order to stay ahead of all these trends. And like I say, all the policy change and the framework change, we just have to be nimble to keep up with all these requirements and changes. Because every industry we know has its own learning curve, and cybersecurity also has its learning curve. So there's a few things that I always share with my team, and I always hold it close to my heart. First is you keep learning, never stop learning, because this is always an evolving lesson or evolving industry. Second is try harder. No matter what you are attempting to do in this industry, try harder. Don't give up. The next is to have an open mind. Despite the fact that we could have learned something previously with regard to an area in cybersecurity, but have an open mind, because whatever we learned maybe a year ago or even as short as 6 months ago might have changed. Like what I mentioned before, that the industry is evolving, threats is evolving, so keep an open mind. And the last and most important is, if you are new to the industry and you are interested to move over to have a career in cybersecurity, have a mentor. Look for a mentor to guide you, look for a mentor to share the road with you, so that the journey, the learning curve is not so steep. Because I'm a very visual person, so anything that's online resource is what has helped me over these years. So my online resources would be Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, YouTube channel. They have good courses, paid courses or free courses that have helped me in different certification, in general knowledge of cybersecurity. Of course, once in a while, there's certain information or certain topic that can't be obtained from the online resource or these video resources. I will actually turn back to books. So there's 3 books that I think is really helpful in my journey. So the first book is Network Security Assessment by CREST, Attacking Network Protocols by James Forshaw, and Hacking, the Art of Exploitation by John Erickson. So these 3 books has given me a great insight of different things of what a cybersecurity engineer, a pen tester should have when they are doing their job, or in the sense that when they are pursuing their interests.